Hey everybody, sometimes I get questions from different people all along the same theme. It's easier to publish a video, probably easier for you too to just watch a video if the questions that they have are the same as the questions that you might have. So this is one of those videos. First question is about the move from Substack to Beehiiv. Substack is one newsletter provider. Beehiiv is another newsletter provider. Just in a nutshell, these services, they take care of all the operations that all I have to do is put together the content, and they handle all the emails, they handle all the subscriptions, everything that goes into running a newsletter. The platforms handle, and then I just put in the content. Substack does it one way, Beehiiv does it another way. And I'm moving from Substack to Beehiiv. Well, I love Substack. Substack's great. I would recommend it to anybody. It's a fantastic platform, especially if you're just starting a newsletter. The thing about it is, when you have a paid newsletter, Substack takes 10%. When you're small, I would argue it's worth the price. If you're free, it's a no-brainer. If you have a free newsletter, because Substack just makes everything so easy to just get started. But if you're if you have a paid subscription like I do, well, when you're small, it's not a big deal. It's a rather trivial amount of money. But then once you get big, 10%, it's a lot. And when you look at what that cost is compared to what you can get from other services that have, for example, a flat rate like Beehiiv or a smaller cut like some of these other ones, it makes sense to look into a different platform. That's really all it comes down to. It was purely a financial decision. I like Beehiiv too. Beehiiv is really good. I actually reached out to Substack. I asked them. I told them what I was going to do. I told them why, and I asked them if there was anything they could do about the price. And look, they have their model. It works. And so, to save money, I'm moving. Beehiiv's a really nice platform too. It's new. They're building a lot. So, I don't want to if it comes across like anything bad about Substack, it's not that at all. In fact, there are a lot of ways where Substack, they just make things so much easier than even with Beehiiv. They just make it so easy. Not easy enough that it's worth continuing to pay the extra money to have the newsletter sent through Substack instead of having it sent through Beehiiv. So the second thing, Altseason. Why aren't the alts pumping? Bitcoin's pumping. Why aren't the alts pumping? Well, I would look at each altcoin on its own. People look at the Bitcoin dominance, and whether you use my measure of dominance or the classic measure of dominance, either way, the movements are really weighed heavily. What it shows is the biggest market cap altcoins. And if you use the traditional chart, it's really just a chart of Bitcoin against stablecoins and Ethereum, because those assets are so huge, they just obscure all the other altcoins from that view. But even if you use mine, it's still weighted towards the big top 100. And if you saw my report on the top 100, I'm pretty sure that 90% of those top 100 are not going to be in the top 100 in a year or two. So when you look at that, it's not deceiving because it's valid, it's legit because it's an overview of the market, but it doesn't tell you anything about the specific altcoins or the specific altcoins that you might have or you might be looking at. If you look at those and you benchmark if you benchmark properly, it really doesn't look that bad. But you have to benchmark properly. You have to say, you can't just say, okay, this is what Bitcoin did in a week. Say, okay, on the day that I bought that altcoin or received that staking reward or received the rewards from my deposits into liquidity pools, or I received my rewards from or whatever it is, however you're getting those altcoins, compared to Bitcoin on that day, and then measure the performance and the outcome. And what you'll find is it's probably not that bad. And if I can tell you, for me personally, there are a fair number of altcoins that I have that are doing better than Bitcoin. As of yesterday, the day before, 10 of the 22 that I've mentioned over the last year have done better than Bitcoin, based on when I told you about them in the newsletter. At the same time, because of the natural volatility of this market, even that, I could check today and it's like Bitcoin's beat them all. Check tomorrow and now, because just they pump, right? The altcoins pump. Sometimes these altcoins, they pump 10, 20% in a day, and then you look and a day later it's like, oh, now Bitcoin's lagging all of them. So understand, pick your time frame, pick your benchmarks, all these things, and it makes a difference about what you get as the performance. I just deal with the market as it comes. So I don't worry so much about it. We know altcoins go up when Bitcoins go up, altcoins go down when Bitcoins go down. The analysis, all you need to do is look at Bitcoin. If you want to get into the nitty gritty about a specific altcoin, yeah, absolutely do that. But recognize that if it's not going up unless Bitcoin's going up, and when Bitcoin goes down, that altcoin is going to get dragged down. The only question is how much and when. One altcoin moves today, the next one moves in 3 days, the next one moves in a week. And by the end, at the end, they're all up 20%, right? Bitcoin did 20% over, 1 week. Next week, the altcoin does that 20%, and they're even. It's just so variable. You can't worry about it that much. I would be cautious about this idea that, money starts with Bitcoin and then it goes to the large alts and then small and then micro caps, because there's no evidence of that. And nobody can provide evidence of that because the evidence doesn't exist. But it's a mindset and a framework and a model that I think people have adopted and accepted. So, go with that, but just recognize and understand that it's a concept. It's a concept. It's an idea that people have that seems to make sense, but there's no evidence to suggest that it is. There is plenty of evidence to show that altcoins move up when Bitcoin moves up and altcoin moves down when Bitcoins move down. So that's kind of how I look at the market. And then once we have evidence that there is that cycle, okay, great. Then fine, we'll add that to the list. For altcoins, for me specifically, each altcoin is its own investment, so I don't really worry so much about trading back and forth with Bitcoin or trying to time the market or anything like that. Spent the last year, almost a year, from June to April, buying altcoins every 2 weeks. Had an altcoin. Not because I'm trying to time the market, but understanding the conditions in this situation. It's the only time that you have a good chance to beat Bitcoin, period, over any time frame with altcoins, is at the bottoms of markets. So just accept that. Don't worry so much about the price. Understand that you're looking for opportunity. Opportunity comes, take it. The last thing, Binance. Am I anti-Binance? So I'll put it this way. I'm not anti-Binance or any exchange. There are a lot of things that crypto exchanges do, and that, or I guess more specifically, things that people do with crypto exchanges and on crypto exchanges that are, look, it's you can call it market manipulation, but it's just like people trying to make money. So which you would expect. You go to work to make money, so why wouldn't you use an exchange to make money too? So I don't begrudge anybody for doing that. That's kind of the point. That's the whole point. It's not that. It's not anti-Binance or there's manipulation. It's all manipulated. We know that. we know it's all manipulated. What isn't? Name any asset that isn't manipulated. And so it's fine. It is what it is. I think I'll put it this way, and this is what I wrote to somebody. So I'm not skeptical about the price action. It's that we see some movements of Bitcoins and stablecoins that suggest large entities used Binance to prop up the market after FTX failed, possibly with fake or borrowed stablecoins, then pushed more fake and borrowed stablecoins to pump the market earlier this year, and now, or either then or now, or sometime in between, scaled out to cover those loans or quote unquote redeem those fake stablecoins. But I can't say that outright. I don't have any evidence. It's all circumstantial data. And it doesn't matter, because if it wasn't Binance pumping the markets, somebody else would, or just naturally, organically, people buying would lead us to this point because of the market conditions. It would have played out in a different way, but the result would have been the same. I would just close that thought by saying, you don't want to leave your crypto on an exchange if you don't have to. Obviously, if you don't feel comfortable bringing it into your own custody, there are risks with that. So yeah, don't do something you're uncomfortable with, but just recognize these exchanges, you don't even know if they have your crypto. There's no way to verify. because once it goes, you can see the transactions that register on a blockchain. But once it goes to these exchanges, for all intents and purposes, it disappears. And if you're in altcoins, well, if you have any altcoin that has staking rewards, or you choose to participate in DeFi protocols or other things like that, and then if you have them on an exchange that facilitates that, you take the risk that the exchange never has your crypto to begin with, and you lose it outright. Or at the very best, they're taking a fraction of, or some portion of, your rewards or the benefits. Where if you took just a little bit of time to familiarize yourself with a custodial wallet, non-custodial wallet, with your own wallet, your private wallet, self-hosted wallet, taking it to your own custody, learn how to do that, learn how to interact with smart contracts, and develop those skills, which it's not easy, but it's also not as hard as you think, and it probably won't take as much time as you might expect. Well, now you don't have to worry about those things at all. And if you are getting rewards, staking rewards and other things like that, DeFi rewards, well, now you get more of those rewards. It's just an idea. It's something to think about. So if those questions were on your mind, I hope I answered that. You can always email me, mark@markhelfman.com, and check in with me on Twitter, or comment on any of my newsletter posts. Relax and enjoy the ride.